So I have done one more psychic reading, and I wanted to share how I interpret the random art or any art to find answers to a certain question. You know, there are so many news events or world news that I can do, sporting events that I can do a psychic reading on. I just decided to go with doing or understanding one more book review. So, but please note that this psychic reading, where I interpret art, can pretty much answer any question. I can very accurately give you an answer to your question just looking at any art. So, all you have to do is just do some splatter art or you know, some line art or just whatever you may want to draw, and you can send it across to me, and I will look at that artwork and give you the answers. Also, if you don't want to draw or can't draw or don't feel okay to draw and send me anything, I can you can just send me a question, and I will look at a random art from the internet, or I will do splatter art myself and then answer the questions for you. So here I'm sharing is understanding how the book will do, and this is a book written by, I think his name is Tansen Ali, and the book is that how to master any skill in 48 hours. So I just wanted to know how will this book do. So I just picked this random art from the internet, and I want to ask some questions on how will the book do. So first question I'm asking is, does it really meet the goal it is setting for itself? The book says that you can master any skill in 48 hours. Is it so? Can somebody do so? Is that book true to what it is saying? So, as I continue looking at this artwork, the answer I'm getting is people will have very, very varied feedback or opinion about it. Some will say yes, some will say no, some will give some other answer. Nobody will have a standardized across answer or response. The reason is, if you look, all the shapes are different. But everybody will more or less agree that it is saying something that is doable. Because if you see, these are very simple shapes of triangles. There is even one cylindrical white shape, and semi spheres. So I'm just saying that people will agree that despite it being a very ambitious book, or trying to say that you can master any skill in 48 hours, the approach is very simple, but people will have very, very different response or their experiences at having attempted it, or as a feedback to give, because shapes are all different. If you see, there is a circle, there is a triangle, and all the triangles are different shapes, so is the circle, and so on. So as I keep looking at this image, it's telling me that he's trying to work with a very opaque topic. If you see, the background is all black, which means it's not a very easily understood topic, and different colors are telling that there is a different approach on doing it, and so on. But it's definitely something that he's trying to explain or work with that's not understood, or is very easily be done. So there is a lot of ambition here. Also, when I keep looking at this image, it's telling me, with different shapes and no shape repeating, this book is not going to be boring. And when a person or reader will read it, he or she will find it very, very captivating, or hooked on to a new topic or a new turn or a chapter in the book. It's not a boring book, it's a very captivating book. Now, if you see in the triangles, there are four different triangles, and it's telling me that this book is discussing some topics almost to the point that it's building a great understanding for people, right from explaining absolutely basic or starting from nothing to taking people to the peak of understanding a certain topic or a something idea that he's discussing. I'm also seeing that some people, there are circles also, and some people will think that these are not doable or are just in the air, he's just gassing in the air. So the book, mostly the book will get accepted as it's building a lot of thought and ideas, but a lot of people will think he's also guessing a lot of things. So this is how the triangles are talking to me here for the book. So now look at the circles closely. If you see, one circle is sitting on top of a mountain, and on top of that is another circle, and then there is a third circle which is completely in the air. So if you were to look closely, people who would land up saying he's guessing or he's just making it up may not have read through or thought through enough to understand he's actually building your imagination or building your ability to think freely or think creatively. So, he's created a bubble after building a great understanding. Then that bubble becomes big. If you see, the white circle is bigger than the circle sitting on the mountain. And then he just leaves the circle in the air. So, you're just then set free in your mind to think and go about this new idea which he's just created for you. It's a very, very beautifully written book. Just by looking at this art and reviewing it, I can tell you this book will do wonders to people who are looking at, acquiring a new challenge in 48 hours. Will it be successful in achieving what he's saying? People will find they will come halfway through, definitely, because how well he's working with setting you free with your imagination and your belief that you can do things differently and your way. It is very important to see that there is a lot of white in this artwork, which is also saying that a lot of people who will read the book will draw a blank or will stay clueless or will not understand the book. So, white usually is associated with isolation, not, just emptiness. So, I'm seeing that people will just come out empty after either having read the book or trying to understand the book. And that number is going to be quite big, So, I'm seeing 30-40% of the readers are going to say that they did not find the book to be so good or so value adding. They will actually feel it did not make much sense in a lot of things. So that's the criticism that will come from almost 30%, 35% of the people who will read the book. So this is how I see the book review. So now I want to ask is how much money will this book make? So let us look at the yellow mountain. And the reason for yellow is it is the solar plexus. This color associates with solar plexus. And it is also a road. If you look how a path would look in the night. The only problem is that road doesn't continue, it stops. If you see, it doesn't cross that black on the top, the border on the top. It stops a little bit short, maybe 5-10% before that it stops. So I'm just saying that earnings wise, this book will go as far as his expectation was with the book, or how much they expected it to do well, it will reach their expectation or slightly fall short. but the bigger problem is this book will then become stagnant. I don't see this book getting year on year great money after some time. Maybe initial few years it will do good, but then I see the earnings becoming stagnant. But it will, with the rollout and all of that, it will hit a certain expectations definitely. But after that I see the book sales or earnings from this book becoming stagnant. So that's how I see the profitability with the book.